The truth about plastic bottled water is scarier than you think. Here are some scary facts on plastic bottled water that you wish you knew earlier. But it's never too late to be aware. So let's get started. No. 1. Most bottled water is not even clean. The process of making plastic bottles takes a significant toll on the environment and the people who make them. The majority of plastic bottles end up in landfills where they can take hundreds of years to decompose, and when they do break down, they release harmful chemicals into the soil and groundwater. Even worse, most of the plastic bottles produced are not recycled, meaning that the majority of them will end up in landfills. In the United States alone, over 30 billion plastic bottles are thrown away each year. That's enough to fill up 20 million garbage trucks. Number 2, plastic bottles are made from fossil fuels. The production of plastic bottles requires the use of fossil fuels, which are a major contributor to climate change. In fact, the production of plastic bottles accounts for 4% of all oil-based plastic produced worldwide. The process of extracting, refining and transporting fossil fuels also has negative environmental impacts such as habitat destruction and pollution. Additionally, the incineration of plastic bottles releases harmful toxins into the air, further contributing to climate change and other environmental problems. 3. There are more plastic bottles than birds on Earth, according to a recent study. There are now more plastic bottles than birds on the planet. There are an estimated 500 billion plastic bottles in existence today, while the global bird population is estimated to be around 400 billion. This is a stark reminder of the amount of plastic waste we are producing and the impact it is having on the environment. Plastic bottles are often discarded improperly, polluting the environment and harming wildlife. They can take hundreds of years to decompose and often end up in landfills or incinerated, releasing toxic fumes into the air. To make matters worse, the production of plastic bottles requires the use of fossil fuels, contributing to climate change and other environmental problems. It is clear that we need to take action to reduce our reliance on single-use plastics and find more sustainable alternatives. Otherwise, we may end up with more plastic than everything else on the planet combined. Number 4. Plastic bottles can leach chemicals into water when exposed to heat or sunlight. Plastic bottles can leach harmful chemicals into the water they contain. These chemicals, known as endocrine disruptors, can interfere with the body's hormonal balance and have been linked to a variety of health problems, including reproductive issues, developmental delays, and an increased risk of certain cancers. Studies have found that the levels of these chemicals in bottled water can be higher than those in tap water, raising concerns about the safety of bottled water. Additionally, the plastic particles themselves can contaminate the water and pose a risk to human health. As a result, many people are opting to use reusable water bottles instead of disposable plastic ones to avoid potential health risks. 5. Most plastic bottles are not recyclable. Despite the common belief that plastic bottles are recyclable, the reality is that only a small fraction of them actually are. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, only about 23% of plastic bottles are recycled, meaning that the vast majority end up in landfills where they can take hundreds of years to decompose. This is partly due to the fact that plastic bottles are often contaminated with other materials, making them difficult to recycle. Additionally, recycling facilities are often limited, and many municipalities do not have the infrastructure in place to handle plastic bottle recycling. As a result, it is important to check with your local recycling program to determine whether plastic bottles are accepted and to ensure that they are properly cleaned and prepared for recycling. By taking these steps, we can all do our part to reduce plastic waste and protect the environment. Number 6. Drinking water from plastic bottles can cause cancer. A recent study has found that drinking water from plastic bottles can increase the risk of developing cancer. The study published in the Journal of Environmental Science and Technology found that certain chemicals in the plastic bottles can leach into the water and, when consumed, can lead to an increased risk of cancer. These chemicals, known as endocrine disruptors, can interfere with the body's hormonal balance and have been linked to various health problems, including cancer. While more research is needed to fully understand the link between bottled water consumption and cancer risk, the findings of this study are concerning and warrant further investigation. It is possible that the convenience of bottled water may not be worth the potential health risks. Consumers should be aware of the potential risks of drinking water from plastic bottles and take appropriate precautions to protect their health. Number 7. The plastic in the bottles is not safe to eat. Despite the convenience of plastic bottled water, it's important to remember that the plastic itself is not safe to consume when heated or exposed to sunlight. The chemicals in the plastic can leach into the water and potentially cause harm to your body. Therefore, it is best to avoid leaving your water bottle in direct sunlight or storing hot liquids in plastic containers. Instead, opt for reusable water bottles made from stainless steel or glass to ensure the safety and purity of your water, by being mindful of the materials that come into contact with our water. We can better protect our health and well-being.